few weeks ago, I sat across the table from a friend, and I could see the pain etched in her face and reflected in her eyes as she told me about her son being teased at school and his struggle that came about in depression following that. Just a few nights ago, I was on social media, and a mom of one of my son's friends was sending out a birthday greeting to him. And her words struck me. She said, "My wish for you this year is that you stop trying to fit in and are happy with the person you are." Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guest. Teen angst is something that has been around for a very long time. In fact, I doubt that there's a single person within this room that can't share a story from a friend, family member, or even our own children about the trials of growing up a teenager in the U.S. today. The statistics I found were pretty alarming. Back in 2004, for a male, 5% of them would encounter an actual episode of depression while they were a teenager. Today, it's 7.7%. For girls, in 2004, it was 13%, and today it is 25.5%. Now, not to be a Debbie Downer this morning, but it's a serious situation. And my thought at the time that was rolling around in my head was, okay, how can I help? And that's a pretty big question, because if this were easy, we'd already be doing it. But I was also thinking about Thanksgiving at the time, because I tend to multitask. And, and a light bulb went off for me. Because the foundation of Thanksgiving is gratitude. And I thought, gratitude is incredibly powerful on the human brain. And so today, I'd like to talk a little bit, maybe, about a proposal I have for the local high school. Our school is small, so we can do some fun things that logistically would not be possible in larger schools. But Cardinal Gratitude would base on the idea of the benefits of gratitude. And when I got this idea, I started digging into the research. And a couple of my favorite sources was Harvard Medical and Mayo Clinic. And the papers that I found went back to one particular project that looked at Vietnam veterans. And those that had an attitude of gratitude were significantly less likely to suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. They also were easier to assimilate back into the population. And time after time, the research on gratitude shows that it provides a positive outlook that helps balance the negative challenges that our kids and we as human beings encounter, because it allows us to be open to possibilities. We are able to learn easier, and we are also able to see where there are new opportunities. Gratitude, it also decreases stress, and there's a lot of research that shows that with an attitude of gratitude, it improves your health because of your willingness to embrace new things. So how do we do this in a high school? The first piece would be that we would have to launch this. Okay, you got to have a big splash to introduce a new concept to kids. It has to be fun, it has to connect with them emotionally, and it also has to have a call to action. I recommend V.J. Smith. He's a motivational speaker that has 2 times been a national finalist for the International Toastmasters Public Speaking Contest. He also has spoken at over 300 schools, sharing his message of gratitude and kindness. Now, as Dean of Students, you can imagine that while the kids can learn a new concept in a day, they can also forget it in a day. So the second piece of the approach would be, what does sustainment look like? I've already talked to our advisor for the National Honor Society, and she is more than happy to have their club take on the sustainment piece in terms of logistics. The first piece would be from a student's individual perspective. We need to give them a tool that they can say, there are good things about my life. And at C29, which is their homeroom class that they attend 3 times a week, the first thing they do when they walk into the room is use their notes app on their phone or an old-fashioned piece of paper and write down one thing that they are thankful for. We would encourage them to use the same location each time so that they're creating a list of things that are good in their life that they can focus on and have as a foundation and anchor of gratitude that life is good. The second piece is there anything more affirming than having someone tell you thank you? No, there really isn't. I mean, to get a thank you note from someone is pretty darn special, especially in today's day and age, even if it's an email. One of the other things that we will do is have cardinal chirps. They will be cut out heads of cardinals, and at each office window, there will be a box with little slips of paper. It's all a student will need to do is write down the name of the student that they want to recognize and what they're thankful for about them. It can be something they've done or something about them. The National Honor Society will take those slips of paper, place them on the back of the cutout cardinal head, the cardinal chirp, and place it on the respective receiving student's locker. In our small school, this is doable. The next piece is with gratitude, it creates connections. We look outward because we're thankful for things beyond ourselves. Our students can connect in the same way with other students, but also with the community. So we're going to do thank you cards, a note card with a cardinal on it, that a student can go to the office and ask for a card and write a note to someone in the community that they appreciate them for something that they have done. Great example is Mr. Kinsler, who has spent umpteen hours with the fall play. And I would think that someone in the drama club may want to send them a thank you card. They would just return it, address to the school window, and the National Honor Society will put the note on it and send it to that individual. Individual, student body, community, all focused on what is good in our life. It'll help balance out those negative challenges that each and every kid has on a daily basis. Will it overcome everything? No, but it has a good shot at doing some good. So you may be asking, as Dean of Students, what's this going to cost, Shelly? You know our budget's pretty tight. VJ has a significant discount for schoolwork, and with his travel expenses, he would cost about $2,800. The Cardinal Chirps with some borrowed crickets we can do for the cost of the paper. That'll cost us about $50. And the note cards, we can purchase 100 of them for about $30. So for under $2,900, we can implement this program. And with our student body, that is less than $10 per student. Pretty impressive investment. And even if only 10 kids have a change in attitude, it's well worth the money in my mind. Because an attitude of gratitude and learning that doesn't just help them through high school. That is something they'll take through their whole life that will help balance out the negatives that they encounter. So my question for you is, how can we espouse gratitude? How can we develop an attitude and culture of gratitude within our high school? Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you.